Only 3 races remain here in the first ever Budget Truck Series season. If you're going to make a run at the championship, it must begin here tonight. Ray Gillespie is making his run towards the championship, gaining his second win of the season last time out at Indianapolis, and moving within 8 points of our championship leader Carson Miller. But he certainly has the upper hand here tonight, Gillespie, starting from the 4th position, while Carson Miller starts from the very rear of the field in 36th. This Iowa Speedway will provide lots of close quarters racing, and we'll see who could come out on top at the end of 38 laps around this 7/8 of a mile racetrack here in Newton, Iowa. This is the Casey's 150, the 6th race of the season here in the Budget Truck Series. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Iowa Speedway in Newton, Iowa, for the 6th race here of the season in the Budget Truck Series, the Casey's 150. My name's Stuart Grattan. Looking forward to this one here. We're getting ever closer to crowning a champion here in the Truck Series before we move on into the Cup Series, which will start a couple of weeks later than initially hoped. So I apologise about that, but still very much looking forward to that. 7th season of the Cup Series. We've got 3 races here left here in this series as well. It's been fun. We've had, well, for the first time last week, we did not have a side-by-side finish in any of the, well, in the race last time out at Indianapolis. We had 4 in the 4 races building up to it. So a little change of pace there, but we'll see how this one plays out here at the Iowa Speedway. I think this is our first short track of the season. It is. We were going to have Colorado on the schedule, but in the end, it was replaced by Pikes Peak, and so we're looking forward to this race. It's going to be a very interesting one. 38 laps, no pit stops, and 36 drivers hungry to go out and get themselves a race win, and for quite a few of them still believing that they have a chance at the championship, but none better placed at the moment than Ray Gillespie, that 99 red truck for ThorSport, starting from the 4th position. He's also got a pretty handy driver on the inside, OS Joshi, in the 93, who is 6th in points and starting in a very nice 3rd place. So we'll see how this one fares tonight. Let's take a look at those championship standings coming into this race. You see him on your screen. Carson Miller, as we said, he starts from last year tonight. He's got a lot of work to do. He's 8 points ahead of Ray Gillespie. Then Rogaldorn is 10 points behind Miller. So 10 points separating the top 3 drivers here in this championship. Of course, all 3 of them have found their way to victory lane. All 4 of the 5 drivers inside the top 5 have won a race this year. Caleb Rose is the only one who hasn't. He is 20 points back in the number 76. He starts a long way back tonight. He starts from 31st. Rogaldorn starts in the midfield, 21st. And then Thomas Troxel starts alongside Rose. He's 32nd on the grid. 5th in points, 26 behind the winner at Willow Springs in a remarkable finish couple of weeks ago. OS Joshi is 6th in points, 33 back. He starts 3rd tonight, that blue and yellow truck. Keep an eye on him. He'll be fast, and he'll be one to watch here tonight. Carson Riggy in the 34. So had a relatively solid season. 7th in points, 37 back. Starts with 17th tonight. Brain Perez is is on 110 points at 38 back. 8th in the points. Nicholas Samunio had a strong run, led the most laps last week. He starts inside the top 10. He actually starts where he is in the points, 9th. And then Jerry Chen rounds out the top 10 championship, 42 back, but that would not be enough to take the points lead. It's not close enough. So it comes down to, at least at the end of tonight, it comes down to 1st through to 9th to see who will end up being the championship leader, because Carson Miller, starting from the last position. A lot of work for him to do in the Call League 25, but Miller is a high-quality driver, and we've seen it plenty of times this season. Let's take a look at our starting lineup, I should say, with thanks to Grattan Racing Technologies. It's Tyler Jericho on the pole. Got taken out last week at Indianapolis coming to the white flag, got taken out by the man who starts right behind him, OS Joshi. So hoping for a better run tonight. He's alongside Miles Inamatsu in the number 2. There's OS Joshi, as we said, 6th in points, 3rd in this starting lineup alongside the winner from last week at Indianapolis, 2-time winner now this year, Ray Gillespie, and 2nd in the points. You've got Trajan Hawk in the number 14. The 14's had a pretty good season as well, 12th in the championship, so not really that far out of it either. He's alongside Alexander Rowe, who was 2nd last time out at Indianapolis. Jared Oren in the 91. Hasn't had a great season, but hoping to have a good run here tonight alongside Logan Williams in the 56. And then Nicholas Samudio now inside the top 10 in the points. Brendan Wilmington rounds out the top 10 here on this starting lineup. Teammates, Sarah Taylor and Jerry Chen. Chen up to 10th in the points, so still in the fight. And Benny Watson in the number 9 is alongside Mateus Bento in the number 4. There's the 15 of Braden Perez, who is 8th in the championship, so he's still a live chance. Matthew Hubert in the number 7, ran well at Sharp, but hasn't really shown a lot of speed elsewhere. Carson Riggy, there he is in the 34, starting from 17th, 7th in points. Leonard Koshma's had a tough season. He starts from the 18th position. And then Jake Rogers in the number 98 starts alongside the 18 of Ryan Durrani. And we'll get these cars to roll off here at the Iowa Speedway. There is a starting line left side of your screen with thanks to the great people at GRT. We'll see the race facts, track facts, and the sort here in a second. 38 laps, we've said, around the 7/8 of a mile racetrack here in Newton, Iowa. Trucks starting to roll off now. Not cars, they're trucks. Oh, get that wrong. The trucks are rolling off here, and they're led by Tyler Jericho. Everybody's rolling off, and there's our points leader. A lot of work for Carson Miller to do tonight. He's not the only one. Top 5 in the points a long way back. Caleb Rose for 31st, Thomas Troxel 32nd. We saw the 44 back in there, Local Dawn 21st on the grid. So a lot of drivers with a lot of work to do here at the Iowa Speedway. That's Tyler Jericho and Miles Inamatsuda. They're going to lead the field to the green flag as the pace truck drives down onto pit road. Tyler Jericho, Miles Inamatsu are going to lead the field to green. Green flags in the air, and we're underway here at Iowa. And to complete the first lap, it will be the 81 of Tyler Jericho, barely beating out Miles Inamatsu to lead the first lap of action. But Inamatsu is giving it quite a fight on that outside. It's not an easy place to make work on that outside here at Iowa. It's not going to work for Inamatsu. So Jericho clears for the lead. Here comes the 93 of OS Joshi, as we talked about. He's in the fight as well. 6th in points coming into tonight. 33 points behind, granted, but still within a chance, especially with Miller so far down the order. He's got a real chance here. He goes to the inside of Jericho, and he's going to take this lead away. Here comes Trajan Hawk here in the 14 as well, going for 3rd. Jared Oren on the inside is looking to try and maybe make it 3 wide, and that's exactly what's going to happen. That's the 2 of Inamatsu, nearly gets into the outside wall. That's one thing that if you've seen in other races here at the Iowa Speedway. Certainly, if you go back to the old Cup Series races, seasons 3 and 4, season 2 as well, you could say, for that matter as well. They go up into the outside wall, quite a bit of contact there as Jericho and the 14 of Hawk make a little bit of side-by-side contact heading off into turn 3, but they get away with it, although Jericho's certainly going to lose out as he's being shuffled way back on that outside 3 wide. Got Ray Gillespie back in there as well, the 99. He wants to get down to the inside. There's a bit of a gap on that inside. He's going to slot down in front of Alexander Rome. Look at all this that's going on. Sarah Taylor's going to go 3 wide to the inside for 2nd, underneath of Nicholas Samudio and Jared Oren. So the number 10, who's also one of those drivers that's unfortunately has not had a great season. Did run very well at Charlotte, but that has been the outlier for this 10 team. She wants to get the inside right there. Drove it in very deep. Jared Oren found his way back to the inside, and he's trying to make it all work out for him. But Taylor to the lead, gets around Joshi. Here comes the 91. Here comes Rowe, and then Gillespie, Carson Riggy, and how about Rogel Dawn here in the 44? Championship contender, working his way forward. Not that far behind the 99 on the racetrack. And in terms of Carson Miller in the 25, oh, that's an awkward spot for him to be in. Bit of contact there with Duncan Ward. Thomas Stroxel also forcing his way to the inside here in the 1 truck, trying to make some ground. 5th in points, winner from Willow Springs 2 weeks ago. Also started a long way back. Caleb Rose as well. Not a good spot at the moment. The 76 on that outside. So lots of movers and shakers up and down this field. But they're all being led by Sarah Taylor. It's got a bit of a nice gap building at the moment. Alexander Rowe finished second last time out at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Could have had a chance at the win if that caution didn't come out at the end of the race. Here he is though, going to where he was last week, or he finished last week. He's up to second. Here comes the 99. Here comes the 91. Sarah Taylor drove way up out of the groove there, and that is certainly not the line you want to be taking here at the Iowa Speedway. Obviously that darker surface is the preferred section of the racetrack. You see the 10 driving up out of it just a little bit. And here comes the 99 of Gillespie for second. Trying to get underneath of Rowe. And the driver getting very hard into turn, well, into all the turns really, but especially turn 3. A little bit of contact so far. We'll keep it together, at least for the time being. So Gillespie now going to the second position. How about Max Davis here in the 33? Davis has had a poor season. He's just made it 3 wide, and he's going to move his way towards... he's going to get his way into the top 5 right here, although he's going to slide up. That's going to open the door for Nathan Stapleton and Carson Green. So some drivers that haven't had great seasons are moving their way up towards the front of the field. Of course, Stapleton, a bit of a different scenario for Stapleton. He missed the first couple of races, but he's now moved... well, he's last 2 points, but he's moving his way up. And then Carson Green's had a really tough season, but slowly getting better and better. A bit of contact there between Davis and Stapleton. Still making a bit of contact there. That time there in the wall. Davis is going to drop back a lot. And he's scraping up alongside the wall. Bit of damage on the right side and the rear of that truck. Nathan Stapleton as well with a bit of damage. And then Rockwell Dawn slid way up the racetrack as well. So everything going on here at this racetrack here in Iowa. In Newton, Iowa. A lot happening. Davis continues to get shuffled back. And Brain Perez back in there. The 15 got a little bit close back in there. There's Carson Miller. Look how far back Tyler Jericho fell. He started on the pole. He's now being passed by the guy that started at the rear of the field. So Miller now ahead of the 81. Tough break for Jericho. And Tim Simmons at the back of the field. Still being led here by Sarah Taylor. But now we've got Gillespie in second, Rowe in third, Oren, and now Carson Green in the 12. He would love a race victory. There's no question about that. Carson Green has had a tough season, but he's working his way. He's just got his way up to fourth, trying to get to third. I thought, no, he got there. He got there eventually. Got underneath of Rowe. And he's going to go to the third position because the inside lane again is by far and away the preferred lane. So 2 Corley trucks now inside the top 3 with Gillespie's the meat and the sandwich right now. How about back in here? You've got Andrew Williams, who's made a lot of ground here in this race. He had a good run last time out in Indianapolis. Been a tough season for him. Nicholas Samudi, of course, has run pretty well previously. And our first caution of the night. Oh, and Braden Perez tumbling in turn 4. Dominic Anthony and Isaac Nichols. 3 truck accident, and that's going to trigger the yellow, and that's going to bunch everybody back together. First caution of the night. Unfortunately, a lot of damage. Might be an engine failure for the 45. Brain Perez tumbling over, and Isaac Nichols, he's had a season to forget. You can see the skid marks, the tire marks, as they go up into the wall and spinning. So first caution of the night, Sarah Taylor, the race leader. Let's take a look at what happened to trigger the first yellow. So this was a battle way down the order, let's say 20th or so. I don't know exactly, but you're going to see there's a bit of 3 wide here. Nichols in the middle, Brain Perez on the outside. That's Ryan Durrani in the 18. Oh, it's one of those awkward ones. Durrani looks like he slid up just a little bit into Nichols. Maybe Nichols came down a little bit. It's an awkward spot. And a bit of contact, and around goes the 26, around goes the 15. Both hard into the wall, and then Durrani gets clipped again. Unfortunately here, watch for... Duncan Ward got a little bit of it, and then Dominic Anthony really piled into the 26. And it's just the 26, as he's spinning around, he gets into the 15 in an awkward spot and turns the 15 over. And unfortunately for Braden Perez, who was 8th in the championship, he's the biggest loser here tonight. from this accident, because you saw the smoke there. Lots of damage on this truck. Probably done for the night. Isaac Nichols and obviously Dominic Anthony out with a lot of damage on the 45. In the end, a 4, maybe 5 truck accident. Duncan Ward got a little piece of it there, the 17, but he'll be okay. But really, 3 trucks out of contention here at the Iowa Speedway. Real time here, you're going to see, not from this angle per se, as you see the contact there between Durrani and Nichols. And there's Dominic Anthony, and as the 26 is tumbling around, just gets the 15 in an awkward spot and turns him upside down. A lot of damage on all 3 trucks, unfortunately, and all 3 of these guys quality drivers. So tough break for each of those guys. As it triggers the first caution of the night. Bunches everybody back together. Sarah Taylor, the race leader for calling in the number 10. Let's take you back to the restart. We'll be restarting with 17 laps to go here at the Iowa Speedway. Sarah Taylor is the race leader. Ray Gillespie in second. Carson Green in third. Jared Oren fourth. And Alexander Rowe in fifth. Andrew Williams sixth. Nicholas Samudio seventh. Matthew Hubert had worked his way up inside the top 10. So he's now up to 8th. Miles Inamatsu and the 93 of OS Joshi rounds out the top 10. 33 trucks on the racetrack. And unfortunately for Isaac Nichols, Braden Perez, and Dominic Anthony, they are all out of the race. Everybody else still up to speed, which is good, and still in the race. So we won't have any kind of lap traffic in the way, slow cars in the way, as Durrani and Ward barely got pieces of it, and they'll be up to speed. Pace cars on pit road, pace truck even. That's Sarah Taylor. Green flag back in the air here at the Iowa Speedway. Not a great restart for the 10. It's going to open the door here for her teammate here as Carson Green gets to the inside and Taylor goes up the racetrack. Here comes the 12. He might take the lead here. Well, the 10's going to try and get down, and Taylor does. Clears the 12, but it's Taylor from Green. 2 drivers a long way down in the championship. Now first and second here on the racetrack. Here comes Jared Oren, who's also a long way down in the points. Andrew Williams just, don't think he made contact with the 62, but the 62 went up the racetrack. 19 capitalizes to the inside, going for a spot inside the top 5 with Samudio in the 88, Matthew Hubert, Miles Inamatsu, and then there's the battle for 10th between the 4 and the 93 as Rowe, I thought, was going to hit the wall there for a second. He didn't. All's well that ends well. Here comes the 19. Another race where a lot of teammates are all running up close to each other, and got some 3 wide back in there, including Troxel and Dawn. Keep an eye on that as Oren gets to the inside here, Carson Green. And there's that 3 wide, Benny Watson way down low, Thomas Troxel in the middle. And a little awkward one. Oh, and there's contacts between Stapleton and Gore. That could have been a lot worse, but we'll keep it together. Carson Reedy back in there. There's the 76 of Caleb Rose. Carson Miller trying to make some ground here, but a long way down the order. And a bit of contact just about there between the 4 of Bento and the 93 of Joshi. Battle for 3rd. Green under attack. Here comes Andrew Williams on the inside. So plenty of racing still left to go. You got 12 to go next time by, so plenty of time for drivers in this front group of trucks rather. So Williams, Green, Samudio, Inamatsu back in there, Huberts and Rowe. A lot of time, Gillespie for them all to make some ground back up towards the front. But Sarah Taylor, since taking the lead, has had this race very much in the palm of her hand. Been in control ever since. You've got a couple battles here. You've got Williams on the inside of his teammate Oren and Samudio on the inside of Carson Green as Williams slides up, gets the 91 out of the way, and he gets to 2nd. So Andrew Williams, who bemoaned the fact that his qualifying, I think in particular, or the RNG, hasn't been to his liking so far. Well, here he is, up in the second position. Back in the top 5 run last week at Indianapolis. You got Oren, you got Samudio, and then Green, the top 5, and then Gillespie trying to make up as much ground as he can. With Miller is a long way down the order. He's in position to leave here tonight as the points leader for the first time this year. Matsu right there. Benny Watson's on the move as well. The 9 has made some ground since the restart. He's now up to, well, he's going to get to 9th right here. Underneath of Matthew Hubert, of course. Grand End figure one. Well, I don't know if this is going to go up the day after the truck race or the day after that, the Monday night. But I know Benny Watson very excited about that. Bill Dale here for 4th. You've got Casa Green underneath the 88 of Samudio. He's got past him. So Green, hungry for a win. And right now in a position to at least challenge for one. He's in 4th. Watson now underneath here of Rowe. So making some ground. Thomas Troxell, I want to say, has also made some very good ground. And there's Carson Miller. So Miller now on the inside of one of his rivals here in Rose. And these guys at the moment just outside that top 15 right now. Miller in 16th, I think, next time by. Rose are going to drop behind Gorson. He'll be down to 18th. And then Koshma's going to drive way up the racetrack there as well. So it's interesting to see how much ground these contenders in the points can make by the end of this race. And Sarah Taylor controlling this lead, not driving perfectly. She's made that mistake a few times driving up the racetrack, but he's still got the lead, and that's the most important thing. Although here comes Jared Oren in the 91 trying to get back at his teammate. Trying to get him back around Andrew Williams, and it's not significant tyre wear here at Iowa, but you can see this time Williams is able to use the outside to his advantage, which we haven't seen very much at all up until now. So we've got 5 laps to go. Top 4 have kind of broken away just a little bit. Gillespie to the inside of his teammate. And should be able to get inside the top 5. So good night here for Gillespie. Don't know if he's going to lead here the points leader. Although here comes Watson now 3 wide to the inside. So Watson's charging his way forward. I don't know if Gillespie's going to leave here the points leader. And I don't know if Sarah Taylor's going to leave here with a win, because here comes Andrew Williams to the inside in the 19. And he's going to take the lead away. The first lead change for quite a while. Taylor's really been in control of this race. Has led the bulk of the race here tonight. But the number 10 now dropping back as Andrew Williams leading with 3 to go. Jared Oren on the inside here in the 91 trying to make some ground. They're 3 wide again back in there. Samudi gets shoved to the middle. Alexander Rowe charging his way up lanes as well. So lots of drivers trying to make as much ground as possible. Jared Oren, he wants a race win. No question about it. Going to 2nd. Gets around Sarah Taylor. We've got 2 laps to go now. And Andrew Williams, can he hold on here and get his first win of the season? What's been a trying season for him. Same could be said for Oren, Carson Green, Sarah Taylor. They've all, and even you could probably say it for Watson, they all have had pretty ordinary seasons so far. Williams overshoots turn 3. They might open the door here for Oren. Are we going to get another side-by-side finish? Could we get so lucky? White flag, 1 to go. Here comes Oren. To the inside for the lead, and Williams drives it way too deep into turn 1. And the 91 of Oren's going to get past right there. And he's going to get clear as long as he doesn't make any mistakes. Here comes Carson Green to the inside for 2nd. It won't be a side-by-side finish, but Jared Oren gets his first win of the year. Oren wins the Casey's 150 at Iowa with a last lap pass. And Andrew Williams dropped back to 4th at the end of that. He got behind both Carson Green and Sarah Taylor. Just let Jared Oren get to the inside, and the 91 is your winner. How about that? Good to see Jared Oren in victory lane. One of the veterans here on the channel. Gets the job done. Carson Green ended up in 2nd. Sarah Taylor 3rd. Williams, as we mentioned, in 4th. And Watson rounded out the top 5. You see the full results on your screen right now. What a race there at the Iowa Speedway. A lot of fun. And a race win here for the 91 of Jared Oren. He's the winner of the Casey's 150. Alexander Rowe ended up in 6th. Nicholas Samudio ended up in 7th. So Samudio had a good night. He was probably the highest finisher of drivers in contention. I guess you could say maybe Rowe, because he had another good run this week, and he was kind of mid-pack. So Samudio probably best place. Gillespie probably the biggest winner of all, though. 8th coming in. Well, sorry. Let's start that again. Finished 8th tonight. And that might be enough to leave here the points lead. We'll figure that all out here in a second. With Inamatsu and Bento rounding out the top 10. OS Joshi. Thomas Troxell started 32nd. He finished in 12th. Pretty good night for the number 1 truck. Could have been a lot worse for him. So I think he'll take that. Matthew Hubert ended up in the 13th position. Henry Guo. Caleb Rose, he started 31st and made his way to 15th. And Carsten Miller started last. He finished 16th. So I think we've got a tie for the points lead. I think, and Gillespie would get that tiebreaker because he has more wins. So it's going to get close there. Koshma, Chen, Stapleton, Logan Williams ran out the top 20. Ryan Durrani, who is the cause of that first caution, or was at least involved in that first caution, he ends up 21st. Carson Riggy, not a good night for him. Same could be said for Rogel Dawn. Brennan Wilmington ended up being 24th ahead of Duncan Ward. Roberto Crown Jr., Ashley Caboose, Jake Rogers. Trajan Hawk was up there early on and he really dropped back. Max Davis was in the outside wall at one point. He ended up down in 30th. Tyler Jericho ended up 31st. He started on the pole. He ended up 31st. Tough night for the 81. It's probably championship done and dusted for him. Charlie Davenport, Tim Simmons, and then the 3 cars out of the race, 3 trucks even. Dominic Anthony, Braden Perez, Isaac Nichols, all involved in that accident about midway through the race. And here are the championship standings through 6 races, 2 to go, and we have a tie for the points lead. The tiebreaker right now is the number of wins each of these drivers have. So Ray Gillespie's won 2 races, and so as a result, he is the points leader by nothing over Carson Miller. Miller with 1 win. Gillespie with 2. Gillespie gets the tiebreaker, and they are now a long way ahead of Rogel Dawn, 17 back. Caleb Rose, 19 back. Thomas Troxell, 22 back. So really, those guys didn't make any kind of dent into the points lead. OS Joshi now 27 back. Nicholas Samudio. The big riser in the front group here in this top 10 is Alexander Rowe, now up to 8th in points, 42 back. Still a race behind. So with 2 races left, hard to see him really being in contention. Kasi Riggy and Jerry Chen ran out the top 10. Jared Oren moves up a lot of ground. It's just remarkable how much a difference a win makes. And up to 11th in the points, ahead of Henry Gore, Miles Inamatsu, Logan Williams. Ryan Durrani rounds out the top 15. Roberto Crown, Benny Watson, Braden Perez, who dropped a lot of ground here tonight with his troubles. And Trajan Hawk as well dropped a long way down the order. So not sure what happened to the 14. He's just inside the top 20, Mateus Bento. We move over to the next page. Matthew Hubert. Andrew Williams has made a bit of ground with back-to-back top 5 finishes. Sarah Taylor led the most laps by far tonight, but doesn't have anything. Well, that's a top 5, I guess, but doesn't have a win to show for it. Rogers Wilmington. Carson Green has made a bit of ground in this championship. He'll be happy to see that, even though he didn't win here tonight. Tyler Jericho, quite remarkable. 2 weeks ago, he was 8th in points. Now he's 28th in the championship. And he's just behind Dominic Anthony, Duncan Ward, Charlie Davenport around at the top 30. Glenn Koshma, Tim Simmons, Ashley Caboose. And for everyone from Tim Simmons on down, out of championship contention now with 2 races to go. So Simmons, Caboose, Nichols, Nathan Stapleton, and Max Davis. And then Cody Light, 37th in the points. As she's only made 2 starts. That does it for us here at the Iowa Speedway for the Casey's 150. Congratulations to Jared Oren on his first race win of the season. There is no race, unfortunately, next week for us here in the Budget Truck Series, but we'll be back on the 26th of July for the race at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, the Rush Truck Centers 200. We're looking forward to that race, and should be a lot of fun. Atlanta always is, and I would be surprised if it is not a lot of fun. I would not be surprised if we got another side-by-side finish. We get them all the time. We've got a cup race there this year with a side-by-side finish. I wouldn't be surprised. We're looking forward to that one. So congratulations once again to Jared Oren on his race win, and we'll see everybody in a couple of weeks at Atlanta.